Jim Spear deal. Had it at El Paso Country Club, Blanca and Blanca Beth, who came to talk to us. And it was a celebration of Jim's life, and it was the best kind of a situation, best funeral deal I ever went to, because funerals, you go and you sit, and then you say hi to the family this way, everybody visited and got to talk about him, and it was really, really special for Jim, and I know he would appreciate it. So, anyway, let's move on. Okay, District Engineer.
Robert's gonna tell you we're winding down, right, Robert?
He stepped up to pick up Paul.
Okay, Robert ran away.
He's already quit. He's through.
He's done. He left me here.
What is it?
So the good news is on the screen up there, there's the inflow into Elephant Butte, so you can see we're finally getting some runoff that's coming in. Out of that inflow, the amount that's new that we haven't allocated is this in July and in August here. Wasn't a whole lot the first part of July. It's about 35,000 acre feet. Some of it will evaporate. Our share, that's about someplace between 7,000 and 10,000. So we would expect in October, when we finalize everything, to have that allocated to us. Right now, I don't feel comfortable talking about Robert without him here, so I'm going to say, Robert, we're real tight right now, and I believe his plan is that we'll probably go in the hole a little bit negative on our allocation in anticipation of receiving this later in the year. So I just wanted to confirm that.
Everybody else goes into death, why can't we, right?
So Pete gets to be Robert. Robert, is that okay?
He's coming. He's coming. There he is.
Oh, hey.
You can't just hide, Robert.
I was trying. I was looking for your confirmation. I was saying we had received about 35,000 acre feet of inflow into Elephant Butte in the last
35?
In the last 30 days or so, which we'll allocate in October. But in anticipation of that allocation, that you may go a little bit over our allocation right now, that you'll release a little bit more water if it's available, and finish out the year, which we'll keep the same date because we're short a little longer.
Right.
Okay. So I'm correct in my assumptions.
Good. Barely making a guy.
I know. And the plan is to go in to the 21st, Robert? Is that?
20th.
We announced they gotta talk about that. 20th.
You haven't told me?
20th will be good. It's good. It's on a Saturday. It just cuts everybody short one day, but.
Well, but the biggest problem is how negative we can go. You know, we're not supposed to go negative at all. But,
No.
so, we may not, and so we don't know until. I mean, especially with this rain, everything may be okay. So
It's raining like you did at Survivors place.
we're getting some arroyo flow today and some other stuff, so we might, may not be an issue with it. But as of it, but you've got how many acres on order for Monday? Or?
From Monday on, just Monday to Thursday, there's 10,000 acres.
So we're.
And then up the valley last night, they were reporting up to 1.5 inches of.
It was wet all the way. I went through some really bad storms coming in, especially down through Las Cruces. So
That's good.
it's good unless you're behind a bunch of semi trucks that you can't see.
When the water turns red, we know it came from Rincon.
Yeah, that's it. So anyways, there was a lot of water over there. Just, for I've been in Arizona for the last couple of weeks, it rained 10 inches in 11 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
On Texas Canyon,
Texas
they didn't
Canyon.
melt the rock.
So that Texas Creek was Texas Canyon Gulch. Never has water in it. Was 5 feet deep.
Wow.
I don't think we
Well, I
lost
had
any.
floods in Phoenix and Las Vegas and all that. I just keep wondering when that's.
Tucson flooded last night.
Yeah.
They lost somebody.
That's the kind of weather events that I've been hoping would happen in our watershed sometime.
Yeah, it's just we're off. We're just off.
We're off just a little.
100 miles or 200 miles. But anyways, some pretty record rainfall events. So.
Someday it's gonna happen on our shed. I've been hoping for
But where it's tight, right, Robert? We're
Oh, we never figured it'd get in this far.
Yeah. We stretched it already.
Yeah, we thought July the 31st was gonna be lucky, but to get this far and get small tracks of another water, and we've been very lucky.
Yeah, we've had to utilize the wells quite a bit. We've had them run into, which is what they were intended for.
Yeah,
We could blend the water.
Right about that. The thing about it is, whatever we use, we'll put the beneficial use and it won't evaporate, so.
You know, I was thinking about Miguel's stuff, the place that we might wanna try to file a project, I'll talk to Omar about it, we might wanna find some place where we have some spare land near one of our wells and see about making it, have some ability, it'd have to still be on the grid, because we'd be pulling a lot more power than it's generating, but it might make an interesting pilot project to see if we can get an acre of panels. Because over a year, an acre of panels might generate enough power to cover the total cost of the well.
I don't know.
You still have to have the drain covered, I think, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know if we do the drain, we'd be looking for area like we also, where we had an actual right of way that we could put some linear ones in for maybe 1,000 or 500 feet, and then they'd be tied to the well, so.
We could put one down there on Shannonville.
Right. Hey, you could. We could. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of some way that we could have, you make it more distributed, and the wells obviously are big energy users for us, and so we could stop paying for diesel.
Looks like we're gonna be using them for a
Plus,
pretty good one.
I think Pete would really like a well that you just flip the switch on instead of.
We got one in the whole district.
We got one. Yeah, he'd like to double
Of the
the
61?
electric wells we have.
And since you mentioned the small track for the 4th irrigation, I wanted to thank Robert because I got my water at 2 o'clock this morning.
On board today.
Did you personally call him? Tell him to get up there?
John.
2 o'clock.
I'm not gonna call it,
It was
but
2:05 exactly.
Johnny, I'm not gonna call him at 2 o'clock in the morning. I know what he tells me. You don't get it. Sorry.
Never.
What else, Albert?
Pick it
That's
up.
it. Unless you got any questions?
Any questions of the district engineer? No? Okay. You can look up,
And-
Pete, you're on.
Yeah, wherever it is.
Harry,
Oh, it's on, sorry, we have David's next
Yeah.
on giving the
yeah, David's presentation.
presentation. Is that on that disc that you gave me?
That's Pete's, that's Pete's.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'll take this short and sweet. Right now, we really don't have too much active construction sites. Right now, we're just wrapping up work on the sound wall for TxDOT on the Franklin Canal by Stevens. It's over there by downtown area. So luckily, they're not encroaching on our right of way more, we're just kind of accessing the construction site via the Franklin Canal. So luckily, they're out of our way, not affecting the Franklin Canal anyway there. Waiting for the end of the irrigation season so we can wrap up some concrete riprap liner on the Mesa drain as well as the Branch C for the city of Socorro. And right now we've got 2 active dewaterings, one in the Orland Spur drain in the Upper Valley. We've got one down here in the Alamo Alto drain by Tornillo area. We're bank construction for both of those. We've got several that are pending a start date on those yet, but right now our focus is shifted to mainly right-of-way issues. Got a lot of developments going up, and we just want to make sure the materials are taken off of our right-of-way, and our ditch riders have access to banks, and to make sure that just nobody's constructing anything they're not supposed to be. So that's what we're focusing on right now. So that's what we've shifted our focus to during this time of year. But other than that, that's all we got for now. Thank you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Pedro.
Oh,
Put me up now.
ready? Place on this machine.
Morning.
Morning.
And a lot like David, just waiting for the end of water season, so we're preparing already for our next winter maintenance projects. We've got 2 that will be starting here. Robert has promised to give me the Montoya in 2 weeks, so I'm hoping to start 2 projects up there where we need to do some shotcrete. One of them is for the El Paso water that wasn't finished last year, so we're gonna go and complete that. That consists of 400 feet of shotcrete right downstream from Love Road and Country Club. And the other one will be some grant money that, on a project on the Montoya over by Lindbergh, just below the Branch 8 heading. And how much is there that we got to do, Omar?
It's over 3,000, no, 2,200 feet, I believe.
Okay, so about 2,400 feet of shotcrete that we need to do there. So I'm gonna go and take advantage of this time while water's still down here in the lower valley and start up in the valley. Here are a couple of projects that were done here in the past 2 months. I pulled out a whole bunch of pictures because I had over 200 pictures in here over the last 2 months. But I'll start off with, these are the drains within the city of El Paso. And I'll go through it pretty quick.
Working?
Turn it on the side.
Copies. Okay. Try to get it. There. Okay, so again, these are the drains within the city of El Paso for our contract that we have with El Paso Water. And it's everything from down here on the Mesa drain up the valley on the New Mexico drain. This is up there on the New Mexico drain. Here's some pictures of what it looks like before, and then the process that goes into
Is
it.
the one before like this, or because of the chemicals, and then the ones with chemicals?
This one here?
Yeah, like this doesn't look like it's got much brush, so. this-
No, the brush has already been cleared out.
It's getting cleared out.
It's been
Okay,
cleared out,
Not by
yeah.
chemicals, right?
No, this is, the excavator has already gone through here.
Gotcha.
Then this picture kind of shows you the beginning, during, you can see the mower down there. And there's a section there the mower just can't reach. Then we'll come in here with the grade all, and he'll kind of shape the bank and also the sides, get everything off and inside the channel, then what it looks like after we completed with it. Which is what you saw in one of those first pictures.
Hey Pete, the trouble is those tulies keep growing and they're always gonna come back. Didn't we years ago try someplace down around, Dr. Steve's place or something, and we tried a little, chemical control of those, and did it ever work or never worked, or?
We tried a section over by, I think it was the island
Somewhere
drain. And what happened, it just started collapsing the whole drain.
Oh.
That's one of the sections that we had to actually bury.
Okay,
So we try to stay away from
so
that.
forget about the chemical stuff, okay.
And unfortunately, we'll do this and it don't take long for it to come back up.
Yeah, those tulies gonna come right back, or whatever they call that weed.
And you'll see some right now within our internal system on the bamboo, how bad it is. See, there's our
Yeah.
radon. And then this is over closer to Sunland Park. That's Sunland Park Drive or Dayton Center.
This was a kosher year too, did you notice the kosher went crazy
Yes.
this year,
Yes.
everywhere?
So that's the way it looks after it's completed. Once the water's out of the river, that drain will drop a little bit. Right now, that's actually water that's backing up from the river into the drain.
It's down by the racetrack.
Yes. And then some of our little mishaps where we get gopher holes from those people that don't believe on
That's a big
gophers.
gopher.
You know?
That's a gopher?
Yeah, that's actually a gopher. Luckily the ditch rider was on his toes. He caught it right away.
That reminds me when our mayor in El Paso couldn't believe that gopher dug that big hole. Where the canal was.
So, yeah, our ditch rider, luckily he was on his toes and he caught it pretty quick before we lost the whole canal. But there you can see how it starts, and it only got that little side of the road, that's over by Yarborough. And that's that same canal. And then this is within the, these are our internal system, our delivery system. And some of the mowing that's going on, this is on Franklin Canal. And then some of the tighter areas is down here in Clint. And then some of our jungle, this was all cleared out a couple of months back, and with the rains we've been getting, that's the kind of messes we get. Wow. So you'll see the bobcat going through there, and then we'll bring the mower through there.
That's after we get done. That was just here, beginning of the month. And then these are the drains out of the city limits. And it's just a couple of drains I'm gonna show you. This is over by FFR. That's what it looks like after we're done. And then Moon Road, we finally completed it. This was a project that was done for the city of Socorro. So we redid the head walls and then
Did
we
we
tied.
design this for the city of Socorro as well?
No, it was, we dropped the pipe a little bit, whatever we could, because there's some water lines underneath it, so I only dropped it about 4 inches, because I couldn't drop it anymore. But yeah, we made the head walls taller, we made the roadway, wider. That used to be about a 15-foot right-of-way, and we went in there with 80 feet of pipe, so we got out of the highway. Because those head walls were constantly being run into.
Where's this at, Pete?
This is right at Moon Road
Moon Road?
and the Isla Lerdo. This is just between North Loop and Alameda. And this is the tie-in that we're doing onto the shotcrete. This is one of the sections that was shotcreted this past year. So here's a tie-in to shotcrete. And water already in it. There's also a turnout that we had to install in there. We went ahead and bedded into the head wall.
That concrete's what, 48 hours or 72 hours, or how long before you started using it, after you placed it?
It's 7 days. It's 7 days before we actually start using it, yes, sir. This year, some of the project, or some of the, again, some of the problems that we're facing is some of these washouts from fields into our drains. You know, I understand gopher holes again.
You're not yet to see a gopher though.
I've shot a couple with my BB gun, so yes. And then this is a project that was going on in the branch C. This is a project that some warehouse are gonna be going in. So what they've done is they went in there, they cut in too close to our bank, and we completely lost the whole branch C. And you can see how deep that hole is. And we lost it into a retention pond that they built. So it took us about a good week and a half to get this repaired. And me and David met with the gentleman out there, and we requested that after water season, we needed the whole section from where we built the check, all the way to where you see that tower, the water tower, the tank up there. All that will be cement lined at their cost.
Good.
So there'll be cement lining the whole branch C. They'll be starting here probably by the end of the month. Here's the process of going in there, and we literally had to just cover it up and just redo the ditch. There's the ditch already finished.
Do we need to send them a bill for the water?
I'm sorry?
Do we send them a bill for the water?
Right. Well, luckily it was right after small tracks, so, yeah.
you got the problem.
Okay, this is, we're already working on the ponds. This is some of the work that we're doing on the ponds. We've taken some elevations on the discharge. I spoke to El this morning on what kind of depth we wanted to go on there. So we're gonna do about 2 feet below the elevation of the discharge that goes into the river. And in some areas, we're already at 2 feet. And we're still within the clay, so.
Riverside Canal,
Riverside Canal, what did I say?
River,
Oh, okay, yeah, Riverside Canal, sorry. And you'll see the stockpiles in the back of. Once we get this done, I'll bring the dump trucks in, pull that out, and then we're also reinforcing the banks.
Can you go back 2 slides?
Sure.
So you see the high power lines back there?
Yes.
That's related to the solar project, right? That's why.
It's ideal for transmission.
Oh, because there's a transmission line.
It's already infrastructure.
Yeah, it's already there. I just have to build a small
That's
substation.
a Mesa, no, Pete? That's the other side of the thing.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I
That's
think it is, Robert.
Yeah, it's
I
on
think
the
it is
other
in
side.
Mexico.
That's in Mexico now.
Oh, it is?
I think
Yeah.
it is, yes.
Well, maybe that's what they planned.
You're looking west. You're looking west there.
I'm sorry?
That's looking west
Yes.
or south.
I mean, they do have an interconnector across the river. So, not too far from there, really. That's the one where Stanley scared us when he got real close to the power lines, remember?
Okay, so again, we're reinforcing the banks of the ponds. This is the pond that we're gonna start off putting water into, which is the largest pond, which is the one closest to the discharge.
The materials that you're taking out, you're able to utilize?
A lot of it's real sandy, Johnny, so I'm having to mix it with some good clay dirt to be able to use it. But, all that sand in the middle, we're gonna go ahead and pull it out of the pond.
Is that pond already lined at some point or other underneath all that, or?
I don't see any kind of lining anywhere.
And we're not gonna line it, we're just gonna let it,
So, the work started because the board wanted to get going fast on this. We've got geotechnical on, but what Peter and I talked about this morning was that there is quite a bit of clay. That's windblown sand that's there. And, over time, it's come out of some of it across from other places. And so you're removing the windblown sand, which isn't super thick, and underneath it, you're hitting primarily clay, right?
Correct.
So any clay that we have to cut into, we're stockpiling so we can reuse it on the embankments. But right now, you haven't broken through any clay where we're hitting
No.
sand down below
I guess my question is there a seepage test that you do, or so we know how much is going into the ground once you start filling that
So-
pond up?
So, the life history of a sewage pond is because of the sewage, the nature of the water, and the chemicals in the water, and some other things in the water. Typically, they seal really tight, and what we want, in this location, Pete's saying, the geotech we've already done showing that we have clay lenses,
Yes.
primarily pretty big layers of clay. So we don't anticipate any. Once we get it done, we'll have to do a test for reclamation or whoever funds it. We anticipate reclamation, we'll have to do several tests, but over time, it'll seal regardless of what it tests out the first time, because several things, as you saw, I mean, when you were mucking the drains, you saw all that biologically active material you're removing from the drains and putting on the back, on the top of the bank, which is basically clay, and it's formed by the biological action. We'll get a similar biological action in these ponds that'll occur over time. As long as we have a fairly good clay layer or surface on the embankments and within proximate to the embankments, we should be okay. What I've seen historically is the embankments are the biggest problem. We gotta be real careful about the embankments. But the bottom will, if it isn't gonna seal, initially it will seal within a few years, I think, especially with all the fine silt we have in our water. We've done some tests on some of our canals, and Pete knows the ones, and Robert does too, that don't leak, right? That they have, actually, it's a chemical seal that over time's occurred because of the salty nature of the water. And as long as we don't break those seals, then they typically won't leak too bad. It's when we break that seal that we got a problem. So Pete's gonna watch out for that. Make sure.
And,
So yeah, okay, so you're all over that, to make sure that.
right, and we're actually gonna perform a seepage test just on the other side of these ponds on the Franklin feeder that we gotta do here before we shotcrete the
Ponds will be
feeder.
different, should have less seepage.
I'm just hoping we have water to seep out of there.
Well, what we're hoping for is once he gets done, then it rains and ponds in there, we can see that it's ponding and stays there for a few days. It probably won't, but because it'll have disturbed it. But you're gonna we'll compact it too.
Yes.
Good. Looks good.
We do have a pretty big sheep's foot vibratory compactor.
How big is this pond?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to discuss that, I guess. It initially was what all the proposals were, over 3,000 acre feet. 10
Yeah,
feet.
3,000 acre feet capacity.
This is just one of the largest ponds. We still have about another 4 that are surrounding
Has
it.
Bentonite gotten expensive?
Well, we get it from down your way.
I was gonna say,
So we know where there's quite a bit of it.
I was gonna say, if you have any particular spots that are real bad.
Yeah, we're trying not to haul it in if you can find enough clay, but we may have to haul some. The closest haul of high quality clay is Hudspeth County. So.
I was gonna, Husband got some real good.
Oh, really? Yeah, plenty of it.
Yeah, plenty.
It's just that every mile is a haul mile, so we try to minimize the haul miles. But there's a almost unlimited bentonite in Hudspeth County nearby.
Go to Tommy's Town right up there.
Right, there's a huge amount.
Been mining that for 100 years.
Okay, so this structure that you see here, that's actually the discharge that goes into the riverside. And after we dug it out, it's really funny how the design was, because actually that's like a channel that goes all around the dam, and then there's only about a 24-inch inlet on it. So the water used to come around this way, and then go in through that little channel there, then out out into the riverside, or into the drain. So what we've done, we've removed all that already, and we're going to go ahead and put some wing walls straight into that pond to where it'll just flow straight in there, without having to dump in that channel. That whole channel is covered up with silt.
So the final design there is 2 large radial gates. So that, with regulating reservoirs, you want to be able to take the water out as fast as possible from the peak to the end. So for right now, this is an interim project that Pete's doing, and we're just trying to save money, so we're not rebuilding stuff.
And right now, there's it's a 4-bay, 24-inch gates that we have there.
Sluice gates.
Yeah, and those come across. We've got those 2 pipes that go over, and then there's another 2 on the other side that's really hard to see because they're below those there. Why they're at different elevations, I don't understand, but they're actually below those there. Those here are being replaced, and we're hauling them as we speak. So this is in the process of all being replaced and redone in order to pull that water out of those ponds. Once we complete these 2 projects, then we'll start on the channel that's going to bring the water into the pond itself. And then this is over by the port of entry in Caseta. We had to do some work there and raise some banks. This is one of the flumes that failed. This is here by Socorro and Harry Road. Tell them about that. So we had to replace the flume there. And then this is another culvert that we had to replace over by Chase Farm. This is on the 243. Now keep in mind, this one here was paid by Chase Farm. They paid us for the pipe and all material. That's the end results. That's all I got, gentlemen.
Okay, Pete, keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like you're gonna have plenty to do, they keep giving you money.
Yeah.
There's only one now, they keep your job.
That's good.
Okay, Roberto,
Roberto.
Robert's gonna,
That Robert's
Coming to the end of the season, something that kind of looked at this morning, that last year we were at the same time, we were at 90,000 acres, compared to this year, we're at 93. So the year is almost similar to last year. And even delivery wise, last year we were at 2,600 deliveries, this year we're at 27, so it's almost identical to last year. Small track is the same thing. We got one last small track to go with, but you know, if you ever think about it, every group that we deliver to on a weekend, there's about 250 deliveries that we do to small tracks every weekend. So there's quite a few turnouts that we have to unlock and unlock. So over the group 1 and group 2, that's over 500 acres, 500 deliveries that we do. That's quite a few turnouts. But we only got one left, and then Pete was showing you the ISA this morning, earlier, but one thing that's really helped us out with the ISA, because so much of it has now been cement lined. We got 4 wells on that lateral, and now we can use those wells and really seal them. We can deliver water with them. You know, we fire out those 4, and we don't even have to put water in the canal. We can feed the irrigation with it, because there's hardly any losses with it, cement lined. It's what only down by the 251, you don't pay this online. So it's really able to, even the ditchers now like it, because, and something else we did now, there's some, wells, 4 wells on the branch B, no, the B, and we bring that one down into the Isla now. So we tie those little puppies and they work out pretty good. The only thing that hurts us is the small track weekend, that just, we have to put the Y65 in and start backing it up real ugly to the 1D, but those wells work pretty good together. And we got them fired up again this weekend and able to get some bunch of the irrigations out of the way. With that said, we're coming down to the end of the season. Like I said earlier, we got 10,000 acres. The scary part here, it was, me and Pete were talking about this morning, some of these acres, I got a feeling, are not gonna be ready come Monday, because I'm seeing so many people got through the day watering, and they wanted to pick up again next Wednesday. And I find it kinda soon, but we'll find out next Wednesday.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, so we're there, and I think with the little bit of water we got left, I think we should be able to cover it out. What I'm seeing right now, 7B should be able to, we'll almost wrap it up this weekend, because there's hardly any acres coming up, but they got till Friday to order water. Come Friday, we'll take everything that comes in. Saturday morning, anybody orders, it's a late order, we'll talk to the discharge. Do you have time to put them on? If it says no, there's no. Unit 8, Unit 9, but we're gonna do them. Anybody calls in, it's a late order, we give them a due date of August the 29th, and we make sure that everybody that ordered up by the Friday will get their water before we put these people on the late orders. The late orders will be carried by the supervisors. If we're in that general area and the discharge feels that we can get the gentleman out, then we will try to water him at the same time. So closing out the season is always pretty difficult, but we'll try to get there.
Okay, so we tell people, they say the late orders are a definite maybe.
It's not a maybe, they'll get their water later on in return flow,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, in September, but the first thing we gotta do, Art, is get everybody that's ordered for the 15th, because it's gonna take us a while, especially in the 9th, and it's gonna take us a while. We're not gonna get everybody on the 15th, it's gonna take us about a week and a half. By that time, we'll be shutting off.
Okay.
But the one that's really concerned right now to cut off is Unit 6 and Unit 7, because whenever we cut off, 2-3 days, they're wiped out.
They're gone. Yeah.
They're gone. And it seems like 7 and 8 and 6 is gonna play. Most of the big farmers, they're watering right now, are fixing to get water, and they should be almost out of there by Monday. So all we'll have is very little small acres to cover in Units 7 and 6. Because Unit 6, for example, right now, at the West Side Canal, we're feeding them 120 feet, and they're only getting 50. So we lose a lot.
Our board member friend up there on EPCWID, board member friend, Keith is okay up there? No, he's the one yelling at you? Oh, okay. Okay.
No comment.
But they just want to go an extra week and we don't have it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. It comes down the line and we gotta cut off.
All right, I can already hear the phone.
We're gonna stay on there as long as we can.
They went on first, ahead of you guys too.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Thank you.
And then,
That's your
you see, it's like, this weekend, Art, in Unit 6, I gotta bring them up to at least 200 feet because EPCWID will fire up the La Union West to finish out our farmers in
Okay.
that section. And also, we got a small track watering there too.
Okay.
We will water them probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, they get through, and we steal from there and put it on the east side to feed the Texas section down there, which is Anthony Pecan and Shannon Singh on that canal. So we're taking water back and forth to feed everybody, but we'll get everybody out of the way.
Okay.
And hopefully it's done, and then, 1st of September, we will be attacking a lot of the cotton people that have the 2 inches. And then I fear by the middle of September, the cotton will be gone, and mainly all we'll be attacking is mainly the pecans.
Yeah.
And we'll stay with the 2 inches, it's been working for us. Unless you all wanna change it, but I think it works for us pretty good.
Did
And,
a really good job on that.
and then the farmers pretty well understand that we can't get them on the riverside, so they work there pretty good.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Robert.
There you go.
That causes problems.
It makes it easier for me, Johnny, just to.
Like I say, if it works, because you change it, then you start a problem.
Yeah. Going good with you, Larry?
What's that?
Is going good with your picado, your watering?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, yesterday we irrigated irrigated 100 acres, and I think, we're done.
On the tornado?
Yeah.
Really?
No, not on the tornado, on the IT
941. We got an inch of
We
rain last
got
night.
rain like crazy here.
He probably got more than an inch. We got an inch right there, Chris.
Really? Yeah, he got.
Red Bravo got .02.
Yeah, it's sped up the irrigation. I finished about 10 hours earlier than when I thought it would on the I-341.
And I think that's what's getting everybody upset, is like the Upper Valley, they got an inch like Sunday, and they got another inch last night, but they still want an irrigation from the district, and it's not there because time's running out.
Yeah.
But like Al says, that we're between the 20th and the 21st. Carry my numbers.
It was the 17th, but.
We don't talk to each other, we're too tight, but,
8 AM on the 20th. We're shutting the gates. So you'll have 3 days run out after that.
but right now, if we go to the 21st, but I'm just saying, it's about 2,000 feet over what we should use, and I'm using very high numbers. I'm using some else for June and part of July, but we haven't figured out the last part of July and August, but they're gonna be pretty close.
Yeah, they still got a lot of rain in Port Kent. For the next few days.
And then have Al calls me on Saturday, what? I can't hear you.
Well, he's got a budget, and, you know, it's just like anything. When the budget gets, when you spend more than you bring in, I get nervous.
All right, y'all are doing pretty good.
Well, yeah, considering, like then Al says that we're getting as far as we did last year with the same water with about 15,000 feet, 15,000 acre feet less, so. And some of the farmers don't like it, but they understand, and it worked out pretty good. They didn't get their full head sometimes like they wanted to. And a lot of it, like I said, it's my fault, I didn't bring the water down here as fast as they wanted. But
That's the only way you're gonna conserve, Robert.
it is, Larry.
I've talked to some farmers and I've told them, if you get 80% of your water and everybody's, these guys want that head gate overspilling and.
Yeah, that's
That's
when we
the
wait.
problem.
Yeah, we gotta have more demand than we have capacity, or
Yeah.
than we have flow.
And
else we waste
some of the
flow.
things that happened, Larry, is like the pecan people, like, I knew it was gonna happen this weekend, this coming Monday. They had their orders in, and we came up on them, and they weren't ready because of the rain. They weren't able to cut the grass and do whatever they needed to do. They delayed them 2 days, so it worked out because I didn't release until Sunday to get the water here, actually today. Now, Unit 9 got the good water, but it took 2 days to get the water down there. Because just trying to-
Us as pecan growers, we gotta understand, Robert, that, if the water's there, take it. I did it. You did it, Art.
Yeah, I did.
You don't mow, you don't do nothing.
When he gets it.
Water gets there.
Yeah, I don't get it as often as you, but when I get it, you're right, we put off mowing. Water's more important, I tell them, boy, we all hate looking at those calitas out there. That
I
tall
got
and
60
stuff.
acres right now, the weeds are this.
Yeah, they're this tall, but,
But
if you get the water,
can't let that water go.
Exactly, but some of them have, Larry,
Yeah.
they hold off and, like I said, guys, I understand you want your water, but look what you do, you delay it by 2 days. What do you expect us to do with that water? That's how come we delay the water, try to bunch it up, because once we get the water down, good water down here, it wipes out the acres real fast.
yeah, they must have good wells too.
No, they
But
don't.
my option is those lousy wells I got, so.
You know, one thing that's unique about the rain is the leaching studies that I've done before, down by your area, and then when I was at the university, A&M University, but was, a 1 inch rain on a 6 inch irrigation well was double the salts you leach
Yeah,
The rain's acidic.
it's tremendous.
It's just amazing how much,
It's
just a
amazing.
little bit of rainwater will really go a long
Yeah.
way with it. So, if you combine it with the,
Right.
and our water quality's been pretty good, really.
Well, that's what Larry's talking about, he's gotta do it twice this year. I have two, I've had two rain events happen.
Yeah,
right
so
when we
you,
got
so
there.
that those, they have, even though it may seem like you're,
I just have to
might
remind
be
Kathy, because she doesn't
leaching,
know that.
I mean, depercolating some of that water, it's, that's when it's most productive to have it go down by
When
the
you're
sewer
mixing-
zone, yeah, when you're mixing rain.
I've been fortunate 2-3 times this year, it's poured
Yeah.
when we're already.
Plus, we're at 800, aren't we, 700, David?
The, coming in here,
Yeah.
TDS, it sits about 700.
So,
Wow, that's all.
When I'm gonna talk what happens to
there's no drain flow up above, or
Yeah.
very little,
Yeah,
so it's all reservoir.
it's tremendous.
You gonna be ready Monday?
You've been doing a good job. Monday,
15th?
was that already ready?
He just said he was gonna be ready.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
If I got it, yeah, he told me to put me up, I'm ready,
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
We're
I may
coming,
have grass, but I'll be ready.
we're coming, ready or not. and
I
you're
remember one
ready
of those
too.
guys says, wait, let me mow my grass, I won't do
But
that.
you're not on there on the Guadalupe yet, are you?
No,
But,
I'm middle of next week.
yeah,
Don't wait
I've
too
got
long.
one with Larry on the 23rd though, and that's quicker than, but I'll be ready on that too, if you get it back to the 3/4.
We'll be on the downhill slope on the 23rd.
Okay, any questions?
No break.
Next time we see you, we'll see you with no more water, just return flow.
Okay.
Oh, Robert, that's a nice thing.
Rub it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this time, Larry, this time compared to last year, remember we had that sewer water last year, we lost part of the return flow,
Oh,
so
yeah. That's right.
I think it'd be a lot better this year.
It's all wet.
Yeah.
You're starting to sound like you're a husband farmer.
Yeah.
Is that what we say?
Hey, Art, we're getting close.
I was gonna say, it sounded like we're husband.
The only thing is keep in mind that we have to concrete line the Franklin feeder this year under that grant. So that's going to put the Franklin feeder out of commission. Pete's working on an idea where we can do maybe half of it and then the other half next year. But that'll-
But when that's still late in the year before you put it out of commission, right?
I guess.
Well,
What do you think,
Overdue.
November?
What?
No.
when we'll start working on it?
Yeah.
Probably the December, January.
December, January.
That'd be all right.
Well, the thing is,
It's already
that
lined,
if he gets the Franklin feeder and leaves into the Riverside, then we'll still be okay, because we can do the Riverside, you can do it at 9. And then and we'll give you guys as much water as possible in your area, and then when he gets through the Franklin feeder, we'll move it around, and then we'll go take care of the Unit 8
That's
farmers,
upstream, yeah.
and it'll work out. We've done that before.
We'll start on the riverside, and then we'll go into the feeder
Yeah.
after the riverside.
So if he does that, it'll work out perfect. We'll feed Unit 9, but then he's also, the island main tree, is he gonna be on the island main this year?
The island main, we're waiting for the appropriations. We're still waiting on that.
So,
Only this year.
So chances are it won't be done this year.
that'd be good water for you, Larry.
You said it would be done this year?
No.
It won't be done.
You know, there's a delay in the appropriation, the way it was funded. So this is something that our Representative Veronica Escobar and Representative Gonzalez are working on in Washington to get that changed so we can get that funding.
And then the wells, we've been keeping those wells on the Franklin feeder, Franklin Canal for what, be over 30 days already?
Pretty much.
And-
With that cheap diesel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Reddy's.
And you know, those things, believe it or not, but they produce water. We cut them off and you'll see them real
I'm
fast.
not corrected.
We see them real fast, but they've been a lifesaver this year.
Yeah, they have.
I'm worried about that cheap well casing we put in, and it's had a 3-year life.
And it's still
expectancy.
going.
It's still going.
Oh, it's 7-year, but
That was
whatever.
the cheapest well casing I could buy.
Well, it's because of all of the nice sweet waters.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
coated with a salt covering over it.
Right now, we've identified about 3 of them, Mel, that we'd like to receive.
Yeah.
Just leave them.
Leave them before we lose them. Yes.
Before you lose them.
And you've already done how many feet? so
We've
far?
already done about 4 sleeves, and then we've got
I think it was
5 new
8
wells.
gauge. You think it was a quarter, it wasn't even in inches, right? It
No,
came in
it's
gauges.
very,
It
very
was
thin.
10 gauge or 8 gauge or something, so.
But even the ones from the 1D, when we pile up the 1D and the B and the Isla, we'll get almost the irrigation with those things on the Isla. So they're lifesavers.
Yeah, 1/8 of an inch thick.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Robert. Keep up the good work, man.
You got it.
All right, Bert. Education 3179.
Yeah, 3179 for subdivision, 7 state subdivision, and it's only about 1.9 and 6 acres, but I recommend that it be carried forward.
Where's this located at? Where's this, located at? The subdivision?
What's the name of the subdivision?